hummingbird smiled at me on my walk this morning. In small pleasures such as this, I'm reminded of the presence of the Lord.
Coming back to this absolutely whack job character actress Margot Martindale storyline. Sorry, esteemed character actress.
To hesitate is to waste time, which is a sin when time could be elsewise spent in prayer. Or hand-washing Monsignor Toscani's 1962 Alfa Romeo, which is itself a form of prayer, is it not?
Religious hypocrisy. Gotta love criticizing it.
You've confessed. Your sins have been washed clean. This is like day one stuff. What are we talking about here?
Her honest frustration here really kills me.
What dereliction is this?
When you get to heaven, look up Margot Martindale. I won't be there, but my movies will!
Margot going back to her roots with an absolutely iconic exit. I also like that, as funny as this is, it does lend itself very well to the point of this episode where they were talking about how she had wiped her past clean and thus she was able to move on, but realistically that's not something that you can just snap your fingers and do, because there are very real consequences to other people for your actions that could come back to bite you, as we see with Bojack throughout this episode. Seems that stint in rehab worked out for Jay Hernandez's next role. Nice pun on the back of this catering menu.
Colleagues! Your eyes do not deceive. You may find my gown overly formal for the workplace, but that is because I am, as of today, formally a member of this vaulted institution.
Paige Sinclair's chaotic entrance is funny, but also paints a larger picture of her lack of care or attention to those around her. She's only really focused on herself and her stories, her career. The music and dialogue also really separate this character as one of a kind, and while she can be irritating, Paget Brewster kills these run-on sentences, reading them with relative ease.
But I cannot prolong my engagement. After all, time, as they say, is a river without banks.
Time may not have banks, but this periodical certainly does. Maximilian Banks at my service.
Ugh, Maximilian Banks.
I may lack your nose for news, but I've got an eyeball for a highball.
God damn, this dialogue moves so quick but is just rife with puns.
Now, I don't know what you're referring to.
You could fill a library with all the things you don't know. In fact, they do. They call them libraries.
Right away, they give you a glimpse into this weird, aggressive tension these two have.
All the better for opening and shutting.
Why do you have that?
Someone addressing how openly absurd this transatlantic accent and attitude is.
It's Sarah Lynn.
Don't you touch my prickly muffin.
Did you ever notice that this music video takes place in a planetarium? And Sarah Lynn died in a planetarium?
Realistic reactions to celebrity deaths. It's not always a conspiracy, people. Also, great transition to the other storylines of this episode. I also always get a little chuckle that they spoofed Supreme to creamy. Such an absurd word to just have on your chest.
Let's explore the city. The Big Apple.
Accurate New York atmosphere. Listen, I love NYC. I go there all the time, but it is dirty as fuck. And another great background gag towards the Mario movie.
A real New York bar. That could be cool.
Yeah, bar. But how often are we in New York?
Subtle hint toward Hollyhock's aversion to alcohol.
Sleepless in Seattle.
All right, big building.
You can't fool me, show. I know that's a birthday dad poster. Another killer transition. Also, Gronkle is a great fake streaming name. They all sound like nothingness.
Because that place is right here.
Oh, Daddy.
That's what I wish I'd said. I haven't seen Ella in 4 years.
The actors awkwardly moving in the background.
I do notice it's not as Chicken for Days focused as maybe it seemed in the outline stage. Talk us through your journey there.
What do you want? You want a close-up of the bucket?
Ooh, I think that would make it feel like a commercial. And what's so innovative about this content is that it's not a commercial.
I also love this commentary so much. Advertisers are trying to get stealthier and stealthier with their ads and product placement because many people now are very anti-corporation and wary of being sold to. So they try to promote art without really making anything with an actual statement, as it is still just a commercial, and the creative freedom will still be restricted to how to best sell the product, as we see here. Slice it any way you want. This is still just an ad, and in my opinion, an overly complicated one.
Maybe I can find takes that are in more of a dunking tone, as well as shots that highlight more prominently but do not feature the bucket of chicken bacon finger blasters.
Thank you for letting us help you share your beautiful vision with the world.
No. Thank you.
And it's so tragic to see Kelsey here when you know how much she yearned to make real, important content. So this is a great LaCroix pun, but it gets even greater when you realize pamplemousse is a spoof of pamplemousse, the French word for grapefruit, which I definitely fucked up the pronunciation of. Except it is spelled differently, which evokes a distinct, more disturbing image about what this flavor might actually taste like.
I'm sorry, it's bullshit.
A gig's a gig, and Vassar doesn't accept indie cred in lieu of my daughter's tuition.
I just don't believe it. You're a way better director than I am.
Her daughter going to Vassar is also kind of tragic, as in Chickens, she expressly stated that she was afraid to be an indie darling, as her daughter likely wouldn't be able to go to the college she would have preferred, like Brown, and would have to go to a pat-on-the-back factory, as she put it, like Vassar. God, this show and its tracking of details is insane. I appreciate that not every man is portrayed to be a douche. Like, this friend of Kelsey's seems to be a genuinely kind and understanding dude.
Yeah, first I'd be really stoked, but then eventually I would get around to being outraged.
Like it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Sorry. What now? Again? Okay, yeah, I'll talk to her.
What are these new pages?
Okay, this episode's transitions are so smooth, it's like one long scene, and that is the last time I will compliment them because I have already given like 3 separate points to it. Sorry.
And some person, I don't know this person, and by the way, I don't like strange persons knocking on my door and then letting themselves in. The knock is so that I can tell you to enter. If you just enter, then what is the purpose of the knock?
We had to think fast, so we put together a new hand-to-hand combat scene that we're gonna throw on top of the merengue number.
So it's a stunt?
I thought you'd be excited.
Is there choreography? When am I learning this stunt?
April's gonna be on set. She'll make sure you understand the stunt.
And it's gonna be safe?
We are taking every precaution, and we are not gonna shoot until you are 100% comfortable.
Ugh, it's so hard to watch Gina be so hyper-conscious about the people around her due to what Bojack did to her last season. Really viscerally gets you to understand the consequences of his treatment. And even though you can see why it'd be seen as too much from those on set, everything she complains about stems from a fear of losing control of the situation while she is on set, as she has once before. It's really well written.
I'm fine. I'm actually being really cool here. I'm not some kind of monster just because I don't like surprises. I'm number 1 on the call sheet. I'm entitled to a little respect.
No, of course you're right.
I mean, I've worked on projects where the number 1 on the call sheet was like an actual crazy person. So I think I'm being really cool.
You are being so cool.
Wow, they write Gina's behavior in this episode so insanely well. We get so much context for how she got to this place and how she rationalizes it in her own mind. Aw, dog's getting excited for the Frisbee tournament. So adorable. The wolf dating a sheep. Girlina, I am scared for you.
What's the difference? The difference is he has a great agent. That was a joke, but I see you're in no mood.
Fun how they're able to include such a wide range of these side characters and still have recognizable through lines. They really prove that they can write compelling material that doesn't involve Bojack.
The last big movie you were on, you got fired off of.
Explain this to me. I didn't break into the Nixon Library alone, and yet I'm the only one whose career has suffered. Why do you think that is?
Say it with me, folks. Because she's a woman. This is the type of sexism that a lot of people don't notice, where some think that sexism is simply outwardly stating you think women deserve less. But no, it's the general treatment and discrimination through shit like this. She's absolutely right. Roman Polanski still makes films.
Even Roman Polanski works more than I do, and he should be in actual jail.
And even had a bunch of Hollywood support him, and he is an actual pedophile.
What about these stories I keep hearing about how people want to hire more female directors?
Oh, they want to. They want to so bad. Just not for this particular project.
Oh my god. Is that the case? Go fuck yourself, Rutabaga.
So I just wanted to say I'm sorry I'm such a disappointment. And I'm sorry I didn't introduce you as my older sister when we met David Hasselhoff at the Kids' Choice Awards. And I'm sorry I've never been enough for you. Mommy!
What an angel. She just wanted me to be happy.
Really harsh depiction of how narcissistic Sarah Lynn's mother is. Even now, she can't really admit her own part in this, or accept what Sarah Lynn was actually trying to say to her here. Horrific, but really great and realistic characterization. Aww! New York built inclusive tower viewers for spiders? I love that.
I'm nervous about losing control, you know?
I think
drinking alcohol might not be for you.
Another amazing depiction of how Bojack's actions can genuinely affect other people permanently. She is afraid because she knows that someone who shares DNA with her struggles with alcohol and often makes huge, life-damaging mistakes on it.
That's why I want to go to that party with a bunch of strangers. Because if I'm gonna lose control, I don't want it to be in front of people I know.
This is very realistic teen thinking. Anything is better than being embarrassed in front of your peers, huh? The incorrect names on Starbucks cups will always get me to laugh. Rude Bagel is a great one.
They're looking for someone who can make a superhero movie with a twist.
So, what, they want me to pitch the twist?
No, the twist is that it's a woman.
Real as hell. Some audiences can't even handle more than that. Just having a woman in the main role is too much, so everything has to be the most basic movie you've ever seen. No risks. I love that Flight of the Pegasus did the whole trilogy thing like they were supposed to, but then just couldn't resist the cash grab. Very realistic. Hunger Games. Great Punisher spoof.
I've been saying for years, as soon as we run out of popular male characters and we've given them each 2 sequels, we have to make a movie about Fire Flame.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing. I don't even need to elaborate. You all know who they're fucking talking about.
Didn't I tell you this would make a great movie?
Pretty sure I told you, Nancy. I have always loved Fire Flame.
I'm sorry. I remember now. You did tell me that.
Great small hint into the company dynamics with the fact that this guy straight up gaslights this woman in front of Kelsey. Invisible and Shellboy are great animal puns and potential superhero movies. Side note, I'd like to suck on Shellboy's I really wonder what put-down basketball entails. Much more insults, I'm guessing. The fact that there's 2 alcohol-related activities scheduled immediately after the AA meeting. But also Dingo Bingo.
Excuse me, kind stranger. I'm writing a story on the efficacy of your program.
Oh?
I understand one of the pillars is anonymity, but if you could...
I once saw Craig Ferguson here.
Great commentary on how our society values anonymity and discretion. Unless the person is famous. Then they're not a person anymore.
Sarah Lynn, I've seen.
Really?
Bringing back familiar faces. This is when shit really starts to get tense. They're on the right track here.
But her friend did.
Her friend?
Large fella. I think he was a horse or a bull, maybe. It's hard to remember. Kind of like a rounder Brad Garrett type, but with a very forgettable face.
Bojack catching strays in an episode he doesn't even appear in. Rounder Brad Garrett with a forgettable face? Really?
The girl from his story, the one in New Mexico. He was weirdly proud of it. Said her name was Penny Carson.
Carson, eh?
Penny Carson, he said. And that's her real name. You could look her up. I remember thinking, why does he want us to look her up?
This feels like a long time coming, and gives me the impression that they definitely intended to bring all this shit back from season 3 later on.
She saves the day, and everybody loves her? I mean, yeah, that makes sense if she's a man, but it's never worked like that for me.
Well, this isn't about you.
I mean, the rules are different for women. If you're a woman and you save the day, nobody loves you. People take you for granted. Or worse, they resent you. They try to punish you. The more powerful you are, the more they'll try to take your power away. And I just think if your movie is smart, you'll acknowledge that.
Wow. What a point Kelsey makes here. She is right. That isn't how it works for women at all. And this type of superhero movie would have a lot more relevancy and would hit way closer to home if it addressed the actual experience women face in the world today, instead of just being another perfect, sexy woman who everyone loves and admires as they tend to depict in superhero movies or media. Oh, she's a badass and she doesn't need anyone, because she's already done with her development, apparently. This idea that was being pushed to Fire Flame as some sort of overly sexualized exotic dancer who never gets bogged down or hurt by any man is the same thing that has been done in movies for decades, and it isn't a good character. With textured writing, it's still sexualization and straight up ignoring the struggles that real women face today. Thank God Kelsey walked back into this room and stood up for herself like this. We need more female directors, and especially ones who are willing to take extensive risks like this and defy the will of the men above them, the ones in charge.
Also, in my version, she's gay. Okay, bye!
Also, please, we have an aggressive shortage of gay superheroes. I know representation has gotten much better for us, but it's still pretty limited and generally doesn't extend to characters with extreme strength or perceived masculine abilities. We'll be in the superhero movie, but you know, we're just the best friend.
Where's Mark, William?
The The reactions by Kelsey are well done too. After the first interview, she's initially satisfied knowing that she will likely get the job, but ultimately disappointed that she pitched such a bland, unoriginal, and unimportant idea. Whereas here, she's unsure and nervous because she might have lost the opportunity, but proud of herself for standing up for what she believes in. A good mirror for Bojack's choices throughout the series, primarily with Angela, showing how it's more fulfilling to stick to what you believe in, what you know is right, like Bojack didn't do with Herb.
And I'm very bad.
This angle is important in portraying how Gina perceives this situation.
Not tell me to cool down like I'm the crazy person here. I'm just trying to have a safe workplace environment.
I had you. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Using the fuck of the season here was incredibly unexpected, but it's a very clever use of it that shows how this behavior can kind of branch out and ruin the relationships of other people as well. Gina is struggling to cope with this trauma, and it's affecting her behavior to the point where others now view her negatively, or perhaps as a toxic person. Pretty scary imagery. It's easy to see how she gets overwhelmed.
Oh, what do you see?
What?
You're having an anxiety attack, so look around the room and tell me what you see.
Great advice. Grounding is an excellent strategy that I personally use. Not saying it works for everyone, but it has worked for many people. Great spoof of Little Women, perhaps involving elephants, I'm guessing?
Fire flame.
Fire flame? Get that money. Nom 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 nom.
I guess Kelsey was right earlier.
Ugh, you think Justin Kenyon says I don't want them to hire me just because I'm a man? Of course not. He says money, 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 nom nom nom.
I have heard him say that. I know you're working with Gina Cazador. What do you think of her?
Oh,
Personality-wise, what's she like? Is she good to work with? I can't risk any drama on set. There's too much riding on this for me.
if I'm being honest, I can't recommend her.
So tragic to hear this affect Gina's career as well, even though we know later on she actually does end up getting the role.
Oh, you know who'd be perfect? Courtney Portnoy.
Ugh, I love her.
I've heard nothing but good things.
And this is a hilarious example for someone who's good to work with, because Portnoy was extremely elitist and high maintenance. But yeah, Gina's too hard to work with because she's clearly traumatized.
Okay, she had this man living in her house.
You mean like more than one dad?
No, she had just the one dad. But then there was this other guy.
This moment hit me like a truck, honestly. It's great how they casually reintroduce Pete Reapy and how his appearance changed, so much so where you don't immediately recognize him. But when he starts this story, you know exactly what he's talking about and realize that Hollyhock is about to learn of one of Bojack's worst mistakes. I had intense fear in my stomach after I realized who this was.
I mean, it was scary in the moment. We were there all night and they pumped her stomach. And I was pretty traumatized for a while. But things are good now. Things are good.
I'm also super glad they showed how this affected Pete himself. Penny was not the only victim of that whole situation.
But you know the craziest part of all? The guy. He's actually kind of famous.
Really?
Yeah, I never heard of him, but it turns out he's kind of a movie star.
Who is he? Who is he?
Love this ending so much. Hollyhock's fear when she asks again, as she kind of already knows the potential answer. The fact that it cuts away because we don't need to hear the name. We know exactly who it is he's talking about. The consequences of Bojack's actions coming back to bite him and interfere with his most important relationship for his recovery. It's such a great moment to end the season on, since this last one was split in two. I consider them to be kind of separate seasons. And sets up what the second part will entail uniquely well. This episode ending is an absolute mic drop and formed a huge pit in my stomach that I had to deal with for several months while I waited for them to release the next part. But if you enjoyed this video, consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/PosiTVty. That's PosiTVty. There you get all these videos before they come out on YouTube. You get to choose exactly what you want to see on the channel, and you get the unedited essays, so you can hear all of my mistakes. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff, because we really appreciate all the support on YouTube as well. And tell someone how much they mean to you today, because it always is important for those people who are close to you to hear. But thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you all. See you for the next video.